Tight tendons, snug sneakers, flowing fluids, 20,000 people trying to run 20 miles in 3 different races. The Louisville Triple Crown, with one big difference this year. Standing at the start line, a runt of a runner who can't spell start.
You're 67?
Yeah.
And he's 5.
Yeah. It sounds like maybe, and I'm going to be trying to keep up with him.
Today, 5K stands for 5-year-old kindergartner. Connor Schiffer cannot read yet, but he can run, and he's my show and tell project. Little boys hate to tie shoes.
I have tights on.
Tights are for girls.
It's to keep you warm.
I don't care, these are still girl tights.
He's got some endurance. We just didn't know how much endurance.
Until she brought him along on a 5K.
Good pace. You're doing good.
And he ran away.
This is a 9-minute mile pace, okay?
So she turned him over to Dad.
You're getting your shoes wet.
Had him checked out by a doctor.
There's something wrong with this child because there's no way he can keep running like that.
Got permission to turn him loose.
You don't want to run off and leave me.
And they've been trying to reel him in ever since.
You're killing me, but you're doing good.
I think he's booking.
He's 5.
5.
5 years old.
Amazing.
The first leg of the Triple Crown is a sprint for this 5-year-old. The real challenge starts when they double the distance.
How you feel, Connor?
Good.
Yeah.
To 6.2 miles.
That's amazing. He's amazing.
In leg number 2.
He's freaking the bad man pajama.
For 2 little legs.
And we've got a little 4-year-old, and it's like, could he do that?
We've got 3 more miles.
Yep.
Can you make it?
Yes. My knees are just tired.
But there's a bigger problem brewing.
He's got to go number 1 and number 2.
And no bathrooms when you need them, so they pit stop in a pet store.
Yeah, go little man, go little man. Yeah, you're there, buddy.
Dad tries to get him to fill his empty fuel tanks, but Connor would rather toss it.
Yeah, baby. There you go, buddy.
When he crosses the finish line, he keeps running because he can't read yet and has no idea what that sign means.
Are you having trouble keeping up with him?
Yep, absolutely.
The final leg, the 10-miler, is serious business for even the serious runners.
You can do it, baby! You can do it, baby! Way to go!
Then there's that kid, clowning on the curbs, goofing on the grass, and telling all his best jokes.
Why did 6 get scared of 7?
Why?
Because 7, 8, 9.
We've been kind of right behind him for a while, and
Yeah.
just so cool. We were trying to figure out how old he was. He was 5 years old.
We're in mile 9. Uncharted territory for a little 5-year-old Connor. Furthest he's been on a training run is 7. And he shows no signs of wear and tear. In fact, he's passing people.
That's awesome. Go, Connor!
When he enters the stadium, he's a rock star. Kid Rock finishes the 10-miler in 2 hours, 10 minutes. Half the age of the youngest competitors, Connor finishes in front of 1,300 other people. 1,300 have to tell their children they were beaten by a kindergartner who's become a performance-enhancing drug to everyone who gets near him.
It just amazes me, John, the way he is, and I wish I could bottle it up and feed it to myself sometimes.
I don't know what other choice to do.
We stalk our kids with video cameras. Paparazzi parents, shooting every move, shedding every tear, rain or shine. But somewhere along the line, the novelty of back to school wears off until something happens that teaches some of us lessons we can't learn in school.
You want to respond with EMS and police on a motor vehicle accident?
A 14-year-old hit while crossing Hurstbourne Lane by a car traveling 45 miles an hour. The windshield smashed from the impact of her skull. A call to the parents from the coroner. But this time, the accident victim on the news is my child.
Now, John says his daughter, Brianna, has had surgeries for broken bones and also head injuries.
It's summer vacation, but suddenly we are forced to recall many of the things we learned long ago, like how to pray, how a bad night's sleep in intensive care can be the best night of sleep, how people we've never met who've been there before show up to encourage us in our darkest hours.
You're an angel, so that's all that matters. That's it. No problem at all. I had to come. Somebody told me about the day. As soon as I heard it, I had to come back. It's really a blessing. So Just be thankful. It's going to be a process, but I'm a prime example. I did the exact same thing, and he'll be back.
Kevin Ware's U of L basketball team knows teamwork is something you practice. Brianna Boel'S high school dance team practices teamwork, even when it involves something they never practiced for. In life, you learn teamwork is two dads spending their Father's Day morning building a wheelchair ramp in the rain. And in life, our report card may be filled with problems: skull fracture, bleeding brain, broken leg and wrist. But doctors get A's for a reason. They can fix what's broken. This mangled leg is reassembled with rods. This fractured head is sewn back together. Before long, a wheelchair never looked so good. And when everything is so nearly taken away, just being able to do what the others can do is a big deal. Like going back to school without a wheelchair, without crutches, without brain damage.
Go.
A surprise A on her progress report before school even starts. A realization there are students and parents not as lucky, not able to value this day. Lessons learned and lessons to be learned. Some of them not from books. It doesn't feel like it at 4 in the morning in the middle of $10 million worth of bikes, but it's 140 miles from the inflation of the tires
You gotta pick it up!
to the elation of the finish.
You are an Ironman, Kelsey. You are an Ironman.
Well worth it.
Thank you.
Athletes from all over the map,
All the way from Greece.
Saludos a Mexico.
speaking the same language. 2.4 mile swim,
Thanks, guys.
112 mile bike, 26 mile run. And when athletes cover that much ground, the ground gets covered with athletes. There is a side to the Ironman triathlon that's not sunny side up. It's scrambled, boiled, poached, and fried. Promoters don't like to talk about it. Participants don't do interviews about it. DNF, did not finish. Ironman Louisville has the highest DNF rate of all North American Ironman distance triathlons, as high as 16%. 400 DNFs a couple years ago, 226 this time, because it's 91 degrees.
A lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of training, a lot of family support, and a lot of electrolytes.
There is plenty of fuel available, unleaded to premium.
You have another water?
But at some point,
Perform.
they can't perform anymore.
You do what you can do, and then you have to give yourself a break. But they're out here trying. I'm serving water, so no judgment on my part.
The reporter covering the story is falling victim too.
I'm having issues. I've already vomited twice. They were going to pull me out of the race. I told them I'm doing a story on people getting pulled out of the race. I can't go.
Normally, an ambulance is seen as a savior. Today, they feel like vultures, watching, waiting to pick up a carcass and carry it to the convention center. They can't find a parking place because Norton Healthcare is treating 487 athletes in the medical tent.
I've DNF'd, everybody's DNF'd, they come back, they try again, they train harder, they work on the nutrition plan, hopefully it'll be a little cooler and they try it again. Yeah.
There's no crying in Ironman.
I fall.
Many of the finishers are loaded in wheelchairs, feeling lucky. They made it farther than hundreds of their brothers and sisters will. Still out there on the course somewhere, reflecting, regurgitating, refusing to take no for an answer.
The people who didn't finish.
Come back and try it again.
John Boel, Wave 3 News.